Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. This is the video Best Bets Part 2. We're going to have a best bet from both Preston and myself, and we're going to start with Preston. You've got a bowl game on Tuesday, December 27th. You're taking a look at Washington State and Minnesota. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I actually think it's worth laying the points still, despite the number coming up from under a touchdown all the way up to 10. I released a play a while back, and we got a good number. I still think there's value in a free play, so to speak, at 10. And I'll tell you why. Aside from the fact that there was the whole debacle at Minnesota, there's 10 players suspended. 2 of them, for example, starting defensive backs. The whole school did the protest thing, boycotted for a while. They didn't practice. Now they're getting back into things. But the whole matchup in general, I think, just favors Washington State tremendously. And you look at who Minnesota's faced as far as quarterbacks go, and this is sad to say, but you go down the list, and the best quarterback they've played is probably Tommy Armstrong Jr. from Nebraska. You don't see too many great quarterbacks in the Big Ten, especially this season. There weren't many, and they missed out on a couple that you would maybe argue are similar to Tommy Armstrong. Not only that, they just don't see pass offenses like this, and Mike Leach's is as gimmicky and tough to prepare for the first time you've ever seen it as anybody's. And this is probably the most effective rush game Washington State's ever had in the Leach era, and defensively they're probably the best they've ever been. And that's why they were, in the last week of the season competing against Washington for a chance to win the Pac-12 North and play in the Pac-12 title game. I just think that there's a massive edge with the suspension and all the negative publicity on the Minnesota side, and an X's and O's matchup that I think favors Washington State tremendously. I thought the game should have been near double digits anyways before all the news came out, which is why we laid 6 or whatever. But now I just think the situation's great to play a number that many are going to think is inflated, when in reality I honestly thought it should have been 9.5, 10 anyways to start. So I like Washington State. Lay the 10 as it is. There'll probably be some guys that say that's taking a bad number, a worse number. That's true. You are taking it, but I still think it's the number that has the biggest edge in the game. So I like them. Play the Cougars.
Yeah. The argument always: do you want a bad number or do you want a winner? And you sure. Still have a winner. I'll take a bad number anytime that I can cash a ticket with it.
And even if it closes 11 or 11.5, then it isn't a bad number anyways. It's just based on all the other numbers. Sure, it's bad for now. But
and you definitely don't want to face this offense with a couple defensive backs.
Right, they throw 70% of the time. It's,
I'm going to go with the game. We're going to take a look at the Military Bowl. You got Wake Forest and Temple. And this is one of those ones where, I don't want to keep beating the drum, but it is something. It's a major part of your handicapping when you're doing the bowls. Who wants to be here? Who's more motivated? And originally, Temple, coming off the big championship win against Navy, they win their conference championship. They're on a high. They're rolling. They're happy. But, I do a radio show with a guy in San Francisco that, went to Temple, and he's texting me during the game, when they're rolling over Navy, how, happy he is in that. And I said, don't be happy for too long, because your coach is not going to be there next, and lo and behold, he's off to Baylor. And you've got to look at this team. That's, it deflates the team, in my opinion, losing, because this is a program that went from nothing to where they're at right now, and he's done a tremendous job there. But when he took the job, he's already taken some of his defensive coaches with him. Now, both the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator have stayed behind for this game, and the defensive coordinator, the team was really, rallying around. They wanted him to be hired. He wasn't. They went outside of the program to hire, so he's bolting to follow rule after this game is over. So to me, there's just so many distractions there with Temple. I just can't get excited about it. And then I look at Wake Forest, and they've got a total black eye on, with them, with what's happened in the past week, with the allegations, the guys, inside the organization of the media who was a former player, was on the coaching staff, and then lost that job and was working in announcing, was, giving information on the playbook out. I think they're going to come to play. They're the more motivated team in this one. I think double digits in bowl games is always tricky to lay at any time, but whenever you got a team like Temple that I feel hit their apex, winning the conference championship, then losing their coach. I can't lay the points with them. I'm going to take Wake Forest here. I think this is a one-possession game. I think Temple will find a way to win the game, but I got it, 24-20 type game. I'm grabbing the double digits.
I think it's safe to say Temple won't have Wake Forest plays either this time around. So you have that going for you. I like the play. There was a place here in Vegas dealing a +14, -105 about a week ago.
Yeah.
Snatched it up. So I do have some money on Wake with you. I think it's the right side.
All right, good stuff. Guys, you know about the Coupon Santa 10. Hey, we've started something new. On Fridays, it's Flashback Friday. We're putting all the plays up, the daily packages, for $7 each. We're doing it for the few Fridays. You guys have been very responsive to it the first 2 weeks, so we're going to do it for you again. Check it out this Friday. You can get any single play at Wager Talk on Friday for just $7. Hey, have a great Christmas, guys. From myself, Preston, Brian, Ralph, and everybody else at Wager Talk, enjoy the holidays and hope Santa brings you lots of winners under that tree this weekend. We'll see you next week.